We now go to Boeing, has agreed, in fact, to plead guilty to conspiracy to defraud the U.S. government for its role in two 737 MAX airplane crashes. Boeing confirmed the deal in a brief statement, saying it was the subject of approval in terms of the specific terms. Now, as part of the agreement, the plane maker will pay up to $487 million in fines. Boeing will also have to operate under the eye of an independent monitor for the next 3 years. The guilty plea adds to Boeing's reputational damage, but it's a far cry from what the billions in penalties that is being sought by the victims' families. One of those family members joins me now from London. Zipporah Kuria lost her father Joseph in the 2019 Boeing 737 MAX crash in Ethiopia, and we thank you for joining us on what are obviously difficult circumstances. I mean, look, do you believe this deal helps Boeing escape justice and perhaps more importantly to families like yours escape accountability when it comes to those who died?
I mean, escaping accountability seems to be what Boeing specializes in instead of safety. And I think this deal definitely enables them to do that yet again. You talk about the fine that they have to pay. Half of that was already paid in the DPA, deferred prosecution agreement that they had in 2021. And this sweetheart deal is just kind of a re-up on that. So, yeah, they're definitely yet again evading justice for us and also accountability for them.
Yeah, and to be clear, by any measure, even $500 million is not a lot for a company of Boeing's size. I do want to talk about what the Department of Justice is saying about this. In a statement, they say Boeing will be required to make historic investments to strengthen and integrate its compliance and safety programs. This criminal conviction demonstrates the department's commitment to holding Boeing accountable for its misconduct. So, do you believe that the U.S. government can hold Boeing accountable to all it says it can do? It won't operate independently, it'll have a monitor. What do you think?
I mean, the notion that they would be able to hold Boeing accountable is utterly ridiculous because they can't even hold themselves accountable to provide justice, which is what the government is there to do. And also the fact that this independent monitor would be selected by Boeing or suggested by Boeing to even indicate that that would mean that they would be objective in doing their job thoroughly is absolutely ridiculous, which is harrowing at the same time, because that's what got us here in the first place. The FAA allowing them to regulate themselves, the DOJ making the same mistake and expecting different results. Like I said, it's harrowing because our fear is people will continue to die and we will continue not to be safe because they're not being held accountable.
And I really want to underscore that. You say it's harrowing because that's what got us here in the first place. In fact, you say, if this happens again, you are pointing the finger at the Department of Justice here and saying that they should be reminded that it had the opportunity to do something meaningful and instead chose not to. By that, do you honestly believe that the U.S. government will be complicit if there's another Boeing safety incident?
Yes, we're definitely holding our breath, not for the third, but for the fourth crash, because the Alaska door plug incident was the crash that didn't happen. And it's really terrifying that the Department of Justice is aware of that. They've watched this happen. They have documentation. We've provided them with ample evidence over the last 5 years as to why the DPA should have been invalidated. And also when they breached the agreement, why they should have had harsher penalties for them, not just the financial ones, but also actual criminal charges for the executives that were involved in decision making. And when you have been given everything you can do to make sure the best outcome is achievable and you choose not, and people die as a result of that, of course, that has to land on your conscience because you were at a pinnacle point in a crossroad where you could have changed things and you chose not to. It's enough looking aside, but when the consequences of you looking aside is more lives lost, then that's something that you have to definitely, as we would say in London, that's an L you'd have to eat. That's something you would have to live with.
We will all be watching this story, and I know it is difficult for you to speak, but I know you do so lovingly in your father's memory, and you want to make sure you do right by him. Zipporah Kuria, thank you so much. Appreciate it.